Welcome to Meeting the Officials. My name is Alexander Kush. I'm your today's host, and today we have an incredible opportunity to sit with Mr. Thomas Anthony, the CEO of the Grenada Citizenship by Investment Unit. Mr. Thomas Anthony, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this short conversation with us.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Grenada Citizenship by Investment stands out as one of the most robust, innovative, and swift programs. But before we jump into all the processes and the technicalities, I just wanted to get a little bit of a history of the program.
Yeah.
When was it launched? What was the rationale behind it? And, well, why was it introduced?
So the Citizenship by Investment program in Grenada began in 2013 with an act of parliament, but the unit itself didn't get going until early 2014. So the program has been around for more than a decade. And essentially it was started to attract foreign direct investment into the country. We got to a stage after the 2008 global meltdown where investment into the Caribbean and specifically into Grenada dried up, particularly for hotel plants and in the tourism sector. And so this was seen as an opportunity because of the success of St. Kitts to attract investment into the economy to help to develop and grow the economy.
Out of all the citizenship by investment programs in the Caribbean, Grenada truly stands out. It's the only one that has the E2 treaty with the United States. Can you speak a little bit about why that is important and how come Grenada has that special treaty and the others don't?
Well, I believe the genesis of the E2 treaty is coming out of in the 80s when Reagan had to go in and assist the country in quelling a civil unrest. Coming out of that, there were some special relationships that were developed, and the E2 treaty was one of those things that resulted. And so more about the E2 visa, E2 treaty, what it allows is for a Grenadian to invest at least 51% of the shares in a US located company. It gives you multiple entry 5-year visa for you and your family to work and live in the US. School-age children, of course, are allowed to go to school, and university-age children are allowed to enter university. The advantage of the E2 visa over the green card is that with the E2 treaty, your global business and assets outside of the US do not attract US tax. Whereas with the green card, as you know, your global income, all of your income attracts tax. With the E2, only your US located business is subject to US taxes.
So taxation. Well, that makes it truly special then.
Yes.
Well, we know when it comes to the investment for the citizenship, we know that there are two main routes. You have the NTF,
Yes.
the National Transformation Fund, and we have the real estate option. Can you speak a little bit about the differences between the two and which one is perhaps better for a specific type of client?
Okay, so yes, the National Transformation Fund is a non-refundable contribution to the government, which starts at $235,000 for a family of up to 4 people. With the real estate option, the investment minimum is $270,000 plus $50,000 contribution to government. So about $320,000 of investment. With the real estate option, you have the opportunity after 5 years of ownership to sell that asset to another qualifying investor under the CBI program. So for those individuals looking for an investment opportunity and an exit opportunity, the real estate option presents the better option. For those who just want to make an investment and move on to their citizenship and their passport, the contribution to government is the better option. Historically, about 30% of individuals choose the National Transformation Fund and 70% choose the real estate route.
We know that we can comfortably say that the citizenship by investment industry has become quite competitive. How does Grenada stand out? I know that under your leadership, a lot of innovative measures have been taken
Yeah.
and really have put Grenada on the forefront of innovative investment, technological advancement.
Yeah.
Can you really speak about some of the things that you have taken and why are they important to really stay ahead in this very competitive market?
Thank you for that opportunity, Alex. Yes. So we have long believed that competition should not be around price of the program. Competition should be about efficiency and about user experience. And so, given that, we took a decision a few years ago to improve the experience of the users, like the marketing agents, yourselves, the local agents, but more importantly, the clients that you serve. And so we moved to a completely digital process. So no need for the hard copies to come to us. Everything is submitted via a portal, and it allows us to interact with the information from anywhere in the world that we are. So we're not subject to being at a desk looking at the applications. What it does too is allow the local agent to see the status of the application without having to interact with us, right? And then the most recent innovation in terms of the digital processing of the applications is now the certificates. So whereas we had to go outside of the system to have the certificates produced, we've just launched a component of the application software where that is digitized and it goes directly to the Prime Minister for his signature and back to us. So although we're experiencing currently some challenges in launching that, once it's launched, it's going to make the system, the process even more efficient. What we've done also from an innovation perspective is, you will recall that a couple of years ago, well, a year and some ago, we rebranded the entity so that we had the use of the coat of arms. We looked like a government agency, and so we kind of behaved like a government agency. We've since moved to a brand that is more private sector leaning, right? And so our attitude has become that of private sector. Efficiency, responsiveness, and so that our turnaround time has moved from 8 months and sometimes a year, 2 years ago, to now we're approving applications within a 4 to 6 month window.
Wow.
And that is because of the using technology, but also increasing the capacity of our human capital to do more work using the technology.
Well, that's music to investors' ears, 4 to 6 months.
Yes.
And touching upon innovation, I remember in the CIS forum, the Caribbean Investment Summit, you announced an AI portal, an AI tool that allows perhaps an end user or someone who's looking to really understand what is citizenship all about to interact with the portal. I think that was a great innovative tool, a way to democratize citizenship.
I'm quite proud of that initiative, where we're now using AI to help with the customer support. So she now exists. Her name is Ari. She now exists on our landing page, imagrenada.gd. If you go there now, you'll see Ari on our landing page, and you can interact with her. You can ask her any questions about the investment migration program in Grenada, about Grenada generally, and about investment migration generally. She can be very feisty, but she gives you good information, good responses. And then as part of the whole innovation package, you will recall that we launched recently in collaboration with Forbes what's called the Citizenship by Invitation. And that is essentially Forbes scouring their various lists of ultra high net worth and high net worth individuals, sending out an invitation to them, responding to the invitation. So that way, we're being proactive in looking for clients as the government, the kinds of clients that we want. Their net worth must be 30 million US dollars or more. And then we give them special privileges, like we prioritize their application. And then once they're approved, annually at a conference in Grenada, they get to interact with the Prime Minister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they get,
that's
they
a
get that
benefit
direct
from,
access.
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
We believe that the Prime Minister benefits from that. These are individuals who are successful in their various fields, and so they can bring to bear that knowledge and experience in helping us to develop the country.
That's something truly innovative.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, having the privilege of visiting Grenada myself earlier last month in April, I witnessed that. I mean, it's truly a beautiful island.
Thank you.
And I just want to touch upon that, citizenship by investment, it's not merely just about citizenship. It's more than that. There's also a lifestyle component that's added to this beautiful investment that, an investor makes.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about the lifestyle of Grenada, and then what can an investor expect? And also, what would you expect from an investor when it comes to Grenada post-citizenship?
Yeah, thank you for that. So the lifestyle in Grenada is akin to most Caribbean islands, right? It's sun, sea, sand, lazy days on the beach, fantastic views. In the case of Grenada, because of the topography, from about 90% of Grenada, you can always see the ocean. Yes?
Yeah.
And being a water baby, I am fascinated by the fact that just about everywhere on the island you can see the water. There's the underwater park, if you're a diver, where you can observe the various different creations of artists that are embedded in the ocean. It's an experience that one should have. Because of the amount of rainfall that Grenada gets, there are lots of waterfalls as well that you can visit at any time. And they're almost, there's water running almost every day of the year because of, as I said, the significant amount of rainfall that the country gets. You can spend time on the ocean on a boat. You can spend time fishing, or you can just spend lazy days soaking up the sun. So island lifestyle. In terms of investors, we are creating what's called the diasporic office. Essentially, that is an office which we will use to build a relationship with our citizens. And from building that relationship, we will then look at how can you as a citizen help us to grow the economy, to develop the country, and look at various sectors of the economy that you can have an impact. And not just with your capital, not just with money, but with expertise. So for example, if you're a specialist surgeon, perhaps spending some time at the hospital, training other doctors over a 1 month, 2 month period of time, 3 month period of time. If you're a successful manufacturer, perhaps you can help us to determine what areas of manufacturing best suited to the country. So bring in your expertise to bear and not just your capital, right? So that desk is being built out. I intend to roll that out in the coming month, certainly before the second half of the year. So we'll be reaching out to citizens to build a relationship, a rapport. We started to do that with our February event when we had the independence celebration. And we invited many of our citizens. So that's all part of the process.
That's a great initiative, because I know that a lot of people do want to connect. A lot of new Grenadian citizens, they do want to connect with the country. They want to contribute, obviously, in their field of specialty. So I think, and perhaps some of them are facing challenges of what's the best platform to really reach out and communicate. But that's great. That's a great initiative.
So on that point, Alex, I've long felt that in our process of determining whether someone should be granted citizenship or not, we do not interact with the applicants at all. And then we do not interact with them once they become citizens. And I've always felt that that's a weakness. and we needed to treat people like citizens, like any citizen of the country, whether you're born there or not. And so this is the result of the way I've been thinking about this over the years. And I'm happy to report, as I said, that that is going to change. We're now going to seek to build a relationship with our citizens so that we can interact with them in a way that allows them to benefit more from just traveling on the passport, but maybe even thinking about moving there, about starting businesses there, and about being an active citizen of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, speaking about being an active citizen and about the lifestyle, I just wanted to go a little bit back and speak about the component of education. Yes. I know that Grenada is renowned in the region for their education system. There's an incredible university with an incredible campus, St. George's University. Yeah. I had the privilege of visiting the campus very briefly myself, and I mean, I was very impressed. I mean, it truly is a hell of a campus. So I just wanted to get your insight on the importance of this university, and perhaps how could an investor leverage that infrastructure and perhaps leverage the fact that their kids could study there, their kids could enroll there, and get a world-class education.
Yeah, so St. George's University for more than 3 decades has been located in Grenada. It started out as a medical school, but they've since added other areas of study. Essentially, for the medical student, the practical component of the program takes place in U.S. hospitals.
Oh, wow.
And so all of the students who come through the medical school, if they so desire, they get placements in the U.S., in various hospitals and other medical facilities in the U.S. So it's a highly regarded medical school, and now highly regarded in the other areas of study, business, psychology, and other areas of study that they've taken on. There are about 20,000 students. The majority of them are from the US, some are from Africa. But one of the advantages for individuals thinking about the CBI program is Grenadians, perhaps entitled is not the word, but Grenadians can get a discount of up to 90%. In other words, Grenadians residing on the island can pay as little as 10% of the tuition. So for those with university-age children, it's something to consider. It's a significant reduction in the cost of school, and they will be entitled to that 10%, paying 10% after the first year of school. So the first year, you would have to pay the full tuition, but subsequently, you can be approved by the university to pay only 10% of the tuition. Wow. So that's something to think about.
Yeah, truly, for anyone with a family, it's a good
and it's a world-class education.
Yeah, I mean, there's even that saying that every 100 doctor in the tri-state area graduated from St. George's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, the practical component, U.S. universities, U.S. Hospitals.
So you get that U.S. experience at a much more competitive cost. Well, before we wrap it up, I wanted to touch upon some recent news that have been hovering in the industry, some concerns that have been raised by some potential investors, that perhaps there are some challenges between the European Union, and the Caribbean, and the Europeans have some concerns regarding the programs and perhaps whether the visa-free access to Europe will be maintained. How is Grenada and the Caribbean as a whole tackling this issue? How are they communicating with their international partners, and what steps do you see are needed forward to really maintain the integrity of the program?
Excellent question, Alex. Yes, I understand the concerns of people, especially given the recent press where the European Parliament has accepted a recommendation from the European Commission to make CBI, having a CBI program, one of the reasons for assessing the visa waiver, right? It's not new. It's been around for a couple of years. But, you know, news headlines kind of draw people's attention.
Sensational.
Yes, exactly. And so, yes, this challenge has been around for a while. That is the potential to lose visa-free access to Europe. But we have been working for years with the Europeans, the technicians in the European Commission, to hear their concerns about what they see as representing risk in these programs. And then, having heard those concerns, how do we address those concerns? And this has culminated in the region deciding to launch a regional regulator in collaboration. So that regional regulator will set standards across all the programs, and that regional regulator will police those standards to ensure that all of the actors, including the CBI units, are operating at least at a minimum within those standards. Yeah? We're at a stage where consultations have taken place across the region with various different stakeholders. And we now have a timeline where the regulatory law, the law that will create the regulator, will be tabled in the various parliaments across the region before the end of the year. It's an aggressive timeline, but we believe it's important to allay the fears of our EU counterparts, our EU partners. And we believe that having this regulator become a reality, having those standards set, and everyone operating in accordance with those standards, will mean that we will be able to maintain our visa-free access to Schengen area. Yeah? We're in constant dialogue with our counterparts. We sit across the table, we have dialogue, but there's also formal diplomatic conversations that are taking place. We understand those areas that they've pointed out to us that represent risk to them, and the regulator will address those areas of concern.
Well, that's good. I mean, important steps are taking place. And to that, when last year, there's a lot of obviously shock in the market. I mean, at least from the client side, regarding the increase in prices. I mean, just to touch a little bit about that and go, backtrack to last year, the memorandum that was signed between the 5 countries. I mean, it was specifically done to address the concerns of international partners, and it was a necessary step to really solidify and strengthen the market and the reputation of the programs. Yeah,
absolutely. One of the concerns that our international partners, we refer to them as, had was this race to the bottom as it relates to price. And the implication, therefore, that the countries are not really benefiting financially from these programs. Another concern is that from a price perspective and the discounting perspective, there are actors who are benefiting more from these programs than the countries, and they had a concern. And so, yes, you're correct. This led to all of the prime ministers agreeing in a memorandum of agreement that we would do a number of things, including increasing the minimum price point. And that was the result where we all went to at least $200,000 or more, not including any commission that we paid. As I said at the beginning, this was one of the things that our partners talked about, and we wanted to address. We wanted to demonstrate that we're taking action, right? And we're addressing their areas of concern.
Yeah, these are hard but necessary steps to promote the integrity of the program. Well, Mr. Thomas Anthony, thank you so much for having this moment to sit down with us. And I look forward to having another conversation with you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and make sure to like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you.